Let's go. Getting ready, about to go live. You know we always have a good time, so count it down, make some noise. Chat is open. If you're here, let us know. Start the cheering. Let's have fun and start connecting. You worry soon you'll be forgetting, 'cause you are here with us now. We are all friends. Sit back and relax, we can begin. Ready or not, here we go. We're all here, so let's start the show. We can do everything all together. Ready or not, here we go. We're all here, so let's start the show. This is the place to be, right here with you and me. Let's meet somebody new. Come and be inspired.
Well, hello. It's Thursday and I'm glad to be here with you streaming, even if it's really hot outside and that temperature makes me pretty sleepy, but we will get this show in the something before we give up and go to sleep. And today I have here with me Einar. Hi, Einar. And,
hello, good evening.
And in the audience is my girlfriend watching. Hi, Moni. Yeah.
But you say it is hot in Switzerland.
Yeah, is it not hot?
Yeah, it is a little cold.
Little cold. Okay, we should meet in the middle and then.
19 degrees today and
okay.
Rain.
Oh, that sounds nice. Yeah. So, how was your week? I know.
It has been a very nice week. Here in Denmark, we are following very much Tour de France, so watching a lot of TV.
Okay.
As you saw last Thursday, I made this live. Finally, I made it.
Yeah, you went live. Exactly.
Yeah.
And you were talking about all the different Windows systems you used.
Yes, it is a little interesting when you make it in that way, I think, because then you think about how much you have been through.
Yeah.
And when I started with my first computer, I was 32 years old.
Okay.
So many things has happened between 1963 and now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
So you
but it
started in
was
1963.
I'm born in 1963, yes, and and
Yeah,
my
you were
first
born then. Okay, now,
yeah, and
now I
my
get it. Yeah.
first personal computer was in 95.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I started with Windows 3.11. Yeah.
Yeah, Windows for work groups.
Okay. Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
Yes, now we're dated.
So, but I think it has been a fine fine week. Time is running very fast. Okay, one more. Time is running very fast
Time is
here in the
running
summer, I think.
away as always. Yeah.
Yes.
And what are your plans for the following week or weeks?
I have got one of these courses from Doria. I need to start this content creating. So I know what I can do. So I need to study this and make this course finished.
Which course was that?
Content creator,
Okay, from
Livestreaming Pros.
okay, from
Yeah.
the Streamer Accelerator.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I always forget that there are courses. I should look into that.
I have seen some of it before. I think they used some of the things in this course when we have these pod groups.
Okay, yeah.
I guess, yeah. But I will start it and run it through and make all these exercises and coming to the end.
Okay, so was it helpful so far for you?
I have only seen the welcome.
Okay,
video,
welcome. Yeah.
So I will I will start on the
okay,
course.
now you're
this
you're
weekend.
feeling very welcome, and
Yes.
now you're good to go.
Yeah,
Okay.
so, but I can see on some of this the headlines. I have seen this before, some of it. So I think I know what it is about.
Okay.
But I will run it through and make all these exercises again, and I think it's very fun.
Great.
So
Okay.
that's starting next week, and
Yeah.
then I have signed up for leader. So
Yeah, of
something has
course.
been happening.
Leader, yeah.
Yeah, we are running
Okay.
again.
Yeah, absolutely. That will be great.
Yeah.
And we have Tony back, and we have Adam here. Welcome, guys. How was your
Hello
week?
again, Tony.
How are you?
Everything is
Hey,
fine here.
long time no see, Aina.
Only 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Adam, San Diego man.
That's right. The Madres, the Padres. Yeah.
Yep. And I was
We've been
watching
having-
your podcast the other day. I was in Chicago watching it.
Oh,
So,
really? Yeah.
you're on
we were in a
vacation.
beautiful city. Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful place. Beautiful place. Yeah, we have in my family we have season tickets. So when they're here in San Diego, we go in various configurations. So we're going to see a lot of games this year, and they started strong, but now they're kind of self-destructing slowly. But it's still fun. It's a fun thing to do. Baseball's
Yeah.
a fun game. And it gives you a good opportunity to get to know your beer and your peanuts and eat snacks and hang out with your family. And there's plenty of because it's such a slow game. You can talk to the people that you're with. You know, it's like where some games you go to, it's like like there's always something happening. Whereas this is a kind of event you can do with your family that you have
I know.
opportunities to grow and come together, which is all good.
Well,
So how are you doing, Tony?
I'm doing good. I just want to say I missed Tour de France starting in Denmark this year. So is it next year or this? When is World Cup soccer?
That should be in November this year.
This year? That's right,
Yes.
because it was the 21st, 2021, we were supposed to have Tour de France in Denmark, but the pandemic pushed it. And then I wanted to see that, so we'll see.
Yeah,
At least we'll
Soccer
watch.
World Cup is in November instead of summer because they are really hot where they are playing.
Yes, but Tour de France started in Denmark here 14 days ago.
Okay.
Yep, for 3 days.
3 days, full of bicycles in all Denmark. And
So you can see, it only takes 3 days to get out of Denmark on a bicycle.
Okay.
and a very windy tour over the bridge.
I love the commercials. They were having these Danish commercials. I forgot what they were for, but the cyclist was going, and then he goes off the trail and he stopped into some place. He goes, hey, this is like to take a chance and look around and see other things. It was a tourism type thing, but it was funny.
Great.
Yes, but I like your yellow shirt, Tony.
Thank you. Standard issue.
Jonas is in the yellow shirt for the second day now.
Oh, there we go. That won't last long.
He will run again tomorrow.
Great.
So,
And what have you been up to, Tony?
well, been building stuff. I gotta finish up some stuff in my studio to make the city happy and the fire department happy.
Okay.
They don't like a boatloads of extension cords and power strips on the ground. So
Okay.
why not? Hang it. I know that's what I said to them. Why not? But they're excited that we're building a live streaming studio here and an event streaming studio. So the mayor asked me, he goes, can you go do remote? And I says, yeah. He
Oh,
goes,
great.
oh, good. We need to talk.
Oh, okay. And so
So-
you can do that for the city streaming then.
Yeah. And Iron and I was tinkering around today where he was actually some software I had set up because I do remote supporting. And he was just running a laptop that I had here and running OBS. But I talked to him like, we're going to do some stuff where he's going to run one of my shows and I'm just going to be the interviewer and set it up. And he's going to produce everything from Denmark.
Oh,
And then it's
that's
going to come
fun.
back here and go
Fantastic.
out onto to YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and my website. So the idea is showing people, it's part of our resume in a sense to show people that we can do things remotely and you don't need to have a big camera truck with a satellite dish on the top.
Yeah,
You just
that's
need to steal your
fascinating.
neighbor's internet. That's
Yeah.
all.
You need good internet, else it will fall apart. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have that Speedify, so that works good for a mobile device. And I'm setting up I'm going to do another show where it's all basically ran from a laptop using Speedify and then one other software and then 3 mobile phones. And I'm taking the carriers from the mobile phones and attaching it to Speedify. So when you're outside remote, you can bundle them all together and now you got 1080p.
Yeah.
So that way it's a good signal being sent in. And then I can do it mobile from there to show people. Because normally I would send it remotely back into the studio here where I got 2 gigabits. And I just have to send my signal here and then we run everything out of OBS.
Okay. And now you go and stream on the road then with that setup. Or...
Yep, well, so that's where we're at.
Great. Sounds fascinating.
And then we're still watching Adam's shows all the time. He keeps changing. Says we're going to pull this off of YouTube or this and that. And it's like, what? I just got, no, it was at Facebook. You pull in your group. And I'm going, I just signed up. And now he's gone.
I'm never gone. I just move around. I'm like a grasshopper. I hop around, but I'm still
Yeah.
the same. Yeah.
We-
I'm just trying to. I'm actually trying to just simplify things so it's easier just to produce the content and not get lost in all of the connections and all of the options. I think that's one of the biggest struggles for me is that there's just so many wells, like there's so many places to get that drink of water and where to get the information or what group to belong to or what software to use, that sometimes when you and so I'm a professional artist by trade. I'm a creative director in a corporation. And what we do sometimes when we challenge our designers is we limit their palettes, so like you only get 3 colors or you get 2 colors. And some of the most creative solutions come with like the less than more, right? So I think it's the same way too when you're trying to figure out a solution for creating content. Sometimes if you can, I know there's a ton of different ways you can do it and sometimes even better ways, but when you focus down on maybe 1 or 2 things, then you can really lean into it and get the most from it. Also becomes a lot less stressful because it's just like, oh wait, what's that? And this one's updating and then I have to upload that one and then they may not work together. Like I'm hearing a lot of people, and I don't know, Marcus, if you're experiencing this, but a lot of people have been talking about frustrations with the Rodecaster Pro 2 because of settings and various firmware updates would then wipe out a preset, or this is what happens with technology. And
it works pretty good for me, the Rodecaster too.
Yeah, so it's working for you, great. But it's anything. It's like when you bring in more technology, you also add complexity. And so, for example, I realized I had like 3 digital interfaces for a balanced audio, right? I had 3 of them. I didn't need 3 of them. I only do single mic recordings generally. Sometimes I'll need 2, right? So I sold one today and I put it up on eBay and it went like that. I had a Mo2 M2, which is a beautiful interface. It was like, I bought it for about $190. I sold it for $185. And they paid shipping. So it was on eBay because it was, fairly new, and I kept the box and everything nice. And so basically I paid $5-6 to rent a Mo2 for 6 months.
Nice.
I used it like twice, to test it and like to see, but it was just too much for me, and for what I'm doing, and I think sometimes we get lost in the tech and that's fun though. I mean, it's fun to think about what all the things that I need, or the software, learning this or learning that. Like for example, a lot of people get very hung up on the camera and the lens, and you should, right? You should care about what you look like. But once you set it and it works, for the most part, people forget it, right? And most people who are watching, they, especially when everything gets reduced and shrunk down and put on your mobile device or it's compressed, they don't think like, wow, that person was using, a Sony 6100. I hate that camera with an M60 lens. How could they, right? Like nobody thinks that. Like, so Marcus, what are you using this? I'm just curious. What's your camera? What are we looking at?
I'm using the Sony CV1.
So the CV1, great, beautiful camera. So is that the one with the fixed lens or the one with the?
Yeah, the lens is fixed. Yeah.
It's fixed, yeah. That's the one I would. It's under $1,000, not much, but that's a really nice option. And Einar, what are you using? And what are we looking at? I'm just curious. So
I use A5100.
You have an
Sony
A5100, and
I have
used.
The next thing I'm going to sell. I'm coming right back.
There he's gone.
Goodbye, Adam.
Yeah, now we just have the chair. Oh, okay.
I got your box. It's right here. I've got 2 of them. I've got 2. So it's
okay, it's working fine.
Yeah, that's cool though. Like I haven't used, like there's just so much stuff. And Tony, what am I looking at here? What are you using?
You're muted, Tony.
Oh, you're muted.
Unmute. Okay, you're looking at an old Dell 21-inch touchscreen webcam.
So you're looking at a webcam, and it looks fine. Like
because I'm in my studio, I'm in the engineering side of it, so I use the webcam. Yeah. I used to have a camera up, and I'm using the microphone from the monitor too. So just for this,
that's fine.
It's not the best quality, but
like
it's
this,
fine.
Right? Something like I got something like this. Like
no, it's built into the monitor.
Oh, the one that's built into the monitor. Oh,
yeah. See.
and it works
I
fine.
look a little better that way, don't I?
Yeah, it works, and it's fine, right? And
But-
from you're like 85% there, right? Like I can see you, I can understand you, and like
Yeah.
it's fine, you know. And so for me, like, because I'm going through this whole thing, I'm like, God, there's so much extra equipment that I have lying around that I've been now putting it up on eBay, and it's been selling quickly. Not that I'm trying to get rid of everything, but like, you know, over time you just accumulate all this stuff, and you know, you hold on to it thinking, no, maybe someday I'm going to need that. But like, I think I have 3 GoPros. I'm like, why do I need 3 GoPros? Like, I don't even go outside. I do.
Yeah, maybe
but,
you
know,
should.
it's like,
Yeah.
I thought I would. You know, like, and I have 2 360 cameras. I mean, like, I just, you know, I get gas. You know, like, yeah, I do get gas. But I mean, gear acquisition syndrome, and it's been like just I've been meaning to do this. So, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I'm doing this is because I bought something.
Okay.
To justify what I bought, I'm gonna sell a bunch of stuff.
So what did you buy?
I bought a new iPad.
Okay.
And I have an iPad Pro. I have an iPad. I bought a new iPad. So like, you know, because I draw, right? So I'm going to be using the iPad to draw. And I want the latest one. And, you know, I want it to be really speed. But you know, once you can't buy the base level, right? You end up adding, and all of a sudden it's like, oh wow, this is costing more than I thought. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna start selling some of the stuff that I have lying around. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's like you want to generate some quick cash. Think about some of the things you have lying around your house that you just never use that you think you're going to use. And you know what? If I need it, I'll rent it or I'll borrow somebody's. Now that we have these exchanges. But anyways, I've been going through that because you know I have been going through you know, a bit of a kind of I don't know. I'm taking a bit of a break. 1 from burnout, 2 from just making sure I'm doing what really makes me happy and, you know, what I care about. Like what I can share is that I launched a 2nd channel, right? And my 2nd channel is getting far more views than the channel.
Is that the one with the drawing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I put up a drawing, gets, you know, 500, 1,000, 5,000 views. They're just shorts, but like on YouTube, right? And but I'm getting engagement. People are like, this is super cool. How do you do it? What, you know, and I like talking about this stuff. So I think I'm going to launch an art channel, just, you know, drawing and how I do it and what I do and how it all works, just for the fun of it, because it's really a fun thing. I actually have, amongst the many things that I do, my degree is in art education. I went to the University of Wisconsin 40 years ago, however long it was ago, and I got bachelor's science in education for art, you know, and art and design. And so I am a teacher, like by education. So this is kind of in my background as well, and it's something I really enjoy doing. And but I ended up working in corporate and as an art teacher, right? And that's actually, you know, we need good teachers in corporations. You know, great teachers help teams evolve rapidly and get and not get trapped in the high school bullshit, right? That happens also in great corporations. And so but it also happens in groups like this. So, you know, that's it. And I'm also doing the same thing. I'm doing this kind of like, I guess you would call this in a way minimalism light, you know, not heavy minimalism where you throw everything away. I have 1 fork. And I'm not even going to buy a spoon because I can eat enough soup with the fork, right? Like I know people who are like this, that are just like so minimalist. But, you know, sometimes like digital minimalism is a good exercise to kind of go through and maybe delete emails or unsubscribe or leave groups. And that's, you know, that's what I'm going through now. And I just heard something. One of my coaches, I don't know if you know Molly Mahoney.
Yes.
Heard of her, yeah.
So Molly's my coach, right? And I work with Molly too, and she's my friend. And Molly just put out a post today. She told me that Facebook is doing something really interesting and a little scary. If you have a group that you have not participated in, it's your group, you created it, and it appears to them that the admin is sitting dormant, they are automatically turning over the admin to who's the most active in the group.
Okay,
Saying,
so
oh, it looks like you weren't in the group, so we gave it to so-and-so because they're really active. So if you created like a group because you sold a course and then people are using it to talk, if you don't, as the admin, use the group, they consider groups not the owner of the admin.
okay.
They're owned by Facebook, and Facebook can pick who is the owner. And so
so that means if you have a business, you better do it on your own network or on
that's right.
website.
That's right.
Yeah.
And makes all the sense in the world. Or if you're going to play in Facebook, but you stay active, and if you're going to if you're going to check out of one of your groups for a year and there's activity in the group, Facebook's going to say, oh, you're like not even a member anymore. But it's like, it's my group. No, it's their group now.
Okay.
So, and that's a little concerning, and hopefully they're going to fix that. But just so you know, if you guys have any old groups that are lying around in Facebook that you want to keep, all you have to do is just post something.
Or don't use Facebook for your groups and your business.
Exactly.
That would be maybe the best
right. Yeah. Or use
solution.
Discord or something.
Yeah.
Exactly. But a lot of people use Facebook. So.
But let me get back to, you said your first channel, you got a little bit of burnout there. Did I hear that right?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay.
So for my first channel, I'm not giving up on the first channel. I've got a ton more videos that I have already ready to go and to produce. I have ideas, scripts. They're good. It's all good. I'm going to finish my project. It's just that it's discouraging when you kind of casually post something else and it's doing so much better. Just on all levels, so I just it gives me more motivation to kind of finish up on what I'm doing over here, because I feel like again, when I talk, and this is probably not the best perspective, to be quite honest, but I feel like a lot of the things that I talk about on my channel that I have now that you've seen, it's information that's widely available by so many other people who are delivering almost the same messages, and it's just so much of the same, how to use Canva, how to make thumbnails, how to navigate on social media, how to use these tools. It's really hard to find the right messages that are useful to people. And then I've talked to other coaches and experts, and they said, well, you have to use something like TubeBuddy, and you've got to figure out what people are searching for, and you're creating content for the desire. But then it's like, then why even bother? Like, is the game here to create content on YouTube just to fulfill the desire of the viewer, as in this is what's being searched, instead of like creating something that you really believe in?
So search is of course especially helpful in the beginning if you're new, and the other thing is I think you have to be intentional and strategic with finding your audience. And that doesn't mean you have to go for the most hyped topic, but in your area where you're producing, you have to find out what the audience wants, of course. Does that make sense? Or?
Yeah, no, it does make sense. Like, for example, out of the recent videos of like the last 35 videos that I produced, the 2 video topics that are the most viewed, and again, this is like a difference between having 10 views and having 100 views. So it's not like a big, but that's 10x, right? Or 8x, like, so 80 views, right? Versus 10 views or 12 views, which is just my friends that I've, everybody from the groups that I belong to, right? But having things that are generally being picked up, the 2 topics are using AI, specifically AI writing tools to help you write copy, which I've been doing reviews of programs that are out there to help you find topics, to help you write descriptions. People are really interested in that, and it's generally interesting. So I'm going to do more of that. And then the other one is this application that I use that is very interesting called Inkscape. Inkscape is as capable as Adobe Illustrator, which is a vector graphics application for creating like stuff that you could put on a shirt or a flag. Or vector means that it's independent of a limit. So you can blow this stuff on the side of a stadium. You know, it's very high resolution or independent, because you know the way it works, if you understand the difference between raster and vector. But it's it's complicated to use, but once you get the hang of it, when you create your logo can go on the side of a plane and it'll look perfect. You know, so it's like really an interesting tool to use, and it's definitely more powerful than Canva if you understand how to use it, and how like helping people go up that difficult learning curve of how to use Inkscape is very attractive. People are like, yes, please tell me how to use Inkscape. I went to my printer and with my Canva, and they said, I can't take this, or I had it printed and it looks fuzzy. It's like, yeah, you have to do a vector version. So like helping people use more higher end graphics tools is something that I really love to do. And, you know, and people are interested in, or like, oh yeah, wow, that's really helpful. The other thing, the reason why people love Inkscape is it's open source. It's 100% free, and it's as capable as Adobe Illustrator, outside of some very sophisticated things that Adobe Illustrator does. Plus, Adobe's integrated with all these other packages. So, Adobe Illustrator is better than Inkscape, but it costs you $30 a month.
Yeah, of course.
It's expensive.
Okay, but
right?
but
Whereas
that was your successful. And does it interest you to make content in that area?
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, no, I like both of those topics. And so that's what I'm going to be leaning into, and other kinds of cool tools online that can help you generate your content. Say you come in with a creative block, you don't know what you want to talk about, you don't know where to find things. I like talking about like archives and resources that are available if you're looking for pictures, or like B-roll and things like that. And rather than talking more about products from Rode or products from Shure, or you know, how to use Descript, which is like everybody's talking about it, right? And like I can talk about this too, I love to, but you know, I find that there's so like they're like the Tom Buck. You know who Tom Buck is?
Yeah, of course.
He's a wonderful guy. I love him, right? Awesome guy. There's the Tom Buck topics. I don't want to talk about those. I talked about a few of those, and
you always can, because you will have your different, your own take of it. You will find your own audience with it. So if you let it stop you that somebody else already does it, you will have to find very obscure things then to talk about.
No, I understand that. I understand that. But, you know, you want, you know, typically you want to be talking about things that are found engaging by others, or else you're just talking to yourself, you know, and so that's kind of the challenge too, is like, if you're going to put in all this effort, you want to be putting in the effort for something.
Yeah, of course.
Right. And, you know, obviously there's something to be said for people who just create content and put it up and they don't care, and they just like,
that wasn't what I meant. But you always can talk about topics other already are talking about, because you have your own individual take on it, and you find your own audience with it, and
they interest you, you know, and also you have to be in it too. Right, you have to be in it too.
So it should be
So for you, like, so just to understand how you think about this. So if I asked you, like, so I gave you, these are the two topics based on what you said, which is brilliant advice, right? Like, you know, you can start kind of broad, but after, you know, you're doing this for a little while, you can start to see patterns. This is what people are interested in and what you're talking about that's different than the rest. So I have these two areas that have bubbled up, and I'm going to start to lean into that a little bit more, or stuff that's around that. So if I asked you, like, knowing that you're a little further along on your journey, like, I know your journey is a little bit different because
I'm not further along, just different.
Okay, but you have more videos, in the sense of like you were doing a lot of interviews and you were talking to people. Which of the videos for you, like which ones were the ones that, or the patterns that started to appear for you? Like which were your videos that were more well received or more engaged?
The interviews with Lala, they did really, really good. I mean, what we are doing here now, if I would optimize it for YouTube, I shouldn't do that on this channel, what we're doing here with this group, because I think it's probably very few people who find it interesting to listen to what we are talking in real time here. So
Right. Unless you know us.
strategically, I
Right.
shouldn't do that on my channel, but I could always. One solution would be to make an own channel, or another solution would be to say it's just in Zoom and not on YouTube. So I don't worry too much about it right now, because I think I really like this sessions, and we get some people in the chat. They also can ask some questions. So I could move it to a different channel, or I could unlist it once it's done. But from a strategic perspective, it's technically dumb to do that on the main channel.
So,
Yeah.
so I had a question too. Why should these be live? And I'm not saying they shouldn't be, but just curious, because if they weren't live, like we're streaming now on
Yeah.
YouTube, right? We could do something like this directly in Discord, right? I don't know if you've been
Yeah,
on any of
sure.
you can do this directly in Discord.
Yeah, sure.
It's really works really well, and then you don't have to do the whole thing with setting up a Zoom call and getting in the code. You just go into Discord, you go into
Yeah.
chat, and then everybody's like this.
Yeah, and we absolutely could and maybe will switch to that. I mean, the whole beginning of that was, I thought that is a cool idea, just as an experiment, and then to maybe show the whole process of setting that up. But I mean, after the second call, the setup was done, and now we're just talking. And so
This is like 13, right? This is
Yeah,
lucky
yeah,
number
yeah.
13.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
This
Absolutely.
is,
And-
like a season. We're almost wrapping up the first
Yeah.
season here.
Oh yeah,
right?
maybe we should do a season break.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
going on vacation the first week of August, so I might
okay.
miss that week. So just so you know,
Yeah.
I'll be on the beach in Mexico. I'm
Yeah.
not sure how that
Yeah.
connection's going to be.
And then the other thing is I want to bring the interviews back, but I have to think of a time slot to do that. What would be the best time slot? And then I
Right.
need to invite people and bring it back, because that was really fun. And if I really wanted to grow, I would have to produce videos, and I have a list of ideas for videos. But they're just sitting on the list there, so we will see.
So where do you see yourself in like 3 years?
That's really
with this
difficult.
show,
Yeah,
with
it's really
this thing?
difficult to say, because it's
But just say make it up, even if like what would make you really happy? I want
okay.
to hear this from
Okay.
Tony too. I want to know from Tony.
yeah, we go around
Where does he
after
see
that.
like
Yeah,
in 3 years?
yeah,
I used to do this 5-10 years, but now my age, it's 3 years.
yeah.
3 years
So the thing is, the premise is I'm doing this as a hobby, so it will not be the big full-time thing. So a goal would to be further building the community and doing better interviews,
community.
learning to do better interviews, doing really interesting interviews, finding people outside our circle to bring in as guests. Yeah, things like that.
So if I hear you correctly, then you're saying that 3 years from now, it'll look pretty much like the way it looks now, just with a bigger network, maybe,
Yeah.
and more topics, and bigger audience,
Probably,
bigger, kind of,
Yeah.
How about you, Einar? In 3 years from now, what would be a future that would delight you around streaming, around what you're doing with streaming? What would it look like for you?
It would look
3
like
years.
it would look like a full-time
Full-time, good.
a full-time job, so I don't have to fight the working market more in this life.
So you would be almost like a host or a producer, or would you be an engineer in the background? Like, what kind of job would that be? Would you be helping others do this, or would it be your show that you would?
This is what I am talking a little with Tony about, because this can be a mix of many things.
Okay.
Live streaming and make shows for each
So
other.
you could be a producer, right? An engineer / producer, as well as an on-screen talent.
Still this idea about helping people with tech that don't understand it.
Right. Right. Even helping people with Zoom is
But in Denmark, I think it is the same in other parts of the world also. But when you are, for example, get unemployed in Denmark and you have to receive your support and all this, the first thing they ask you to do is use a computer on internet and fill out a database with many informations. And we have many people here from 50 and up. They don't know how to turn on a computer and they don't care. And that is a problem because the first they are meeting when they are going to be in contact with the official system here in Denmark, you say go home and make it in your computer.
And they don't even have one, so they have to go to the library.
And now we have just introduced a new security system in Denmark when you log in to your bank and everything is official here, and that has made a lot of technical problems. For the first, it does not work correctly, and it still does not work correctly. But everybody here should use it, or you cannot access your bank, for example, if you don't have it. And in the local authorities here are very busy helping exactly old people from 50 years and up, making this because they don't understand and they only say this should work, or we will not use it. But if they not use it, they cannot access their bank accounts.
Their money. Wow. Yeah. That's wild.
So the first problem is coming with this. People need to understand. They need a basic knowledge of how you are using a computer.
So you want to help with that. So you can see in 3 years, you'll be in a position where you would be helping people and also helping people produce shows. And
making other things about this also. And with Tony, for example, if we can make the technical part of a show, helping each other out if it is possible, because we can see now it is not possible to do all this alone. You can have all this equipment you need, but you need somebody to control it.
Yeah, in my field, where we do big conferences, big stages, we'll have 4,000 or 5,000 people in the audience. We have a rule: you cannot be the talent and be behind the stage. You can. There's a green room for the talent, but you can't be in front of the stage and behind the stage at the same time. Yet streamers do that, right? You're the talent and you're the producer, right? But traditionally, it's usually a glass wall. Like you could talk and they can't even hear you. The talent.
Yeah, but that started in radio, where they used to have a technician and one talking on radio, and then that all went away. And
podcasting changed all that, right? Exactly.
Yeah, in radio that changed even before podcasting. And then and now, of course, with these modern tools, you can do a show on your own. Of course, the more sophisticated it should get, the more in need of a producer you are.
But from a traditional producer or engineer who's in broadcasting and they see people streaming, it's like when you see that guy on the corner with the drum and the tuba and the keyboard and the thing on his head. He's like the one-man band.
But if it works,
that's crazy. Like, what are you guys doing there?
Yeah,
like,
but the difference is the guy in the studio, the broadcasting guy is a union guy, got his money, he takes his direction for everybody. The guy in the street corner's got a YouTube page making $500,000 a year, laughing.
No, you're right.
There's a big difference. An entrepreneur, and that's what streamers are. We're entrepreneurs, every one of us. There's no union. There's no two ways to do this. Just like photography, there's a zillion cameras. Now it's just digital, and it's what your eye sees and what you produce. So there's no set parameters.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry about that.
So Tony, a question for you, same thing. Like, where do you see your studio in 3 years? What is it going to look like?
Well, this is my sponsorship here for diced tomatoes, low sodium. It's not a sodium-free food. So remember that. And now we go to my cast here. So Andy and Tony, is a service that started on, it'll be 2 years, October 30th. Now we have to do this so you can see a little bit better from our show, our own page. And what has happened from this is we started out just to play around with this, and we started out with, before this, doing Lita. And we did that for the whole month. She helped me with that. So we did all sorts of stuff. What we're doing is creating a live streaming service. We just opened a studio here that I'm trying to finish up to get approval from the city. And we're also doing, with this, we're also doing virtual events. I have a software, the same. If you follow the Livestreaming Pros with Gloria, I can't even say her last name, but you know who I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah. She went to the same event that I went to, and I became a beta tester for that Avio streaming software, event streaming software. That's their dashboard. So that's my second goal on that. But I've always had this philosophy, and I'll tell you guys. And Einar and I are getting together. Last time I set out what I was saying and what I was doing, and it happened in Lita. The guy someone in our group stole my web address. I said, no, hey, I'm not gonna, they said, tell you what you're saying. I said, I'm gonna sign this thing up in a day or two, but this is my philosophy. The guy took the web the web URL.
Okay.
So that made me kind of upset. So we already have the URLs. That's the good news. Right, Einar?
Yes, it is in place.
Yeah. So now we're putting together, today we did some support software. Our concept is a niche, and everyone's telling you all the influence, you got to have a niche to be things. So one of the processes that I've been doing, because I've been helping people for years, senior citizens, and like one person calls me up frantic and says, Tony, I have this thing I got to print out from my Red Hat Society, and I cannot find it. And I said, what do you mean? She goes, it was there, now it's gone. So I remotely connected in, and so we looked at it, and I said, you have 16 sessions of Microsoft Word open. 15 of them are blank. Here's your document. And she just goes, oh, you're a lifesaver, the whole 9 yards. And then I had somebody
opening.
So our philosophy is we only answer stupid questions. So we have a program called Fix It for Seniors, and then I'm starting another group that's called TTFSA, and that is Today's Technology for Seniors Association. So we are backed by the Good Technology SEAL group, and whoever they are, I made that up. But the idea is we're talking people through and helping them. And that is the key behind it. No one wants to spend time. I hate support where they're texting real fast. They want to get you off and this and that. What I've been doing is I've been helping people online where I just talk to them. I explain to them, now take your mouse and move it over here and do that. I had another person, they said, my printer doesn't work anymore. And I said, I don't know what happened. So I just said, go in the back of the printer, find the power cable, and I said, follow it to the wall. Well, then you hear them screaming, that blah, 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 so-and-so, the housekeeper came in, unplugged it to put the vacuum cleaner in. So it's simple things like that. So that's why we're setting up a process to help them fix things and do things. Because I'm tired of driving. I drove to this one guy's house, and normally I charge, X number of dollars, and it's at a friend's of mine house, and I said, he goes, how much it's gonna be? I says, just tell him it's gonna be $20. I drive over there, I get a soda, I go back in the room, I said, what's wrong? He goes, my monitor doesn't work anymore. It was working before they changed the carpet. Now it doesn't work. So I come in there and I go, look in the back and I go, okay, you got the cable into the computer. Where's the power cable? What power cable? I said, it's a long thing like this that's got a plug at one end. So he's hunting around. I found, I said, here it is. Plugged it in the back, plugged it in the thing, lit up. And he goes, was it that easy? That'll be $20. And he was mad because I said, well, normally I charge 90. So you got a good deal because I got a soda, see my friend, and you got it for $20. But these are the things that most people do, and they can't, you just take it down to its basic nature. What's wrong with it? So that's where I don't see myself doing this 3 to 5 years from now. I see myself, I'm trying to build this as an entity and to grow. So that way it's an organized event. I like to produce shows. we're going to create our own. Andy and I are doing some shows. It's our 15 minutes of fame on Facebook right now, but we're going to branch it out to go farther. And we don't know where everything's going to take us, but we're enjoying ourselves. Our first show, we got 100 views in a week. Our last show, we got 640 some views. Now, live people, we got 1 to 6 views all the time, but people come in afterwards. And that's the nice thing about it. That's the difference between television and live television, because they can go watch the replay.
Yeah.
And then I have to email it to my mom because she doesn't have Facebook and all that. So I send her the video and she gets to watch it. We get a kick out of helping people and talking to people. Our show, they like it. We even take our phone around to other neighbors that don't have internet and stuff like that. We show them. They laugh for 15 minutes because part of it, one, they know us. And two, it's like, aren't you guys afraid of what you do? How do you do all this stuff? And I said, we just do it off the cuff.
Yeah.
And so that's where I've gone on my end of it. Doing things like single text support, I could have worked out of the house. Other things, I could have done different stuff, but I don't want to. I was doing handyman work too, in between the two. So it's no fun. You're physically doing anything. What I am trying to create, and where Ina comes in, because I am also from Denmark, but spent most of my life over here, and we're coordinating. So we're creating something that we can do in the English style, and then we're going to start with the Danish, and then see if it works there, and then we can branch out to the Scandinavian, and then go further. So where we see ourselves is, creating a project that could go or not. And my background was 20 years of manufacturing. So, but I've been tinkering with computers since I was 14. I mean, I was on a telex machine like Bill Gates, and I broke into our college. We were connecting to that, and I was running around. And I go, oh, there's a file there, kill. There's a file, and then also we get a phone call. Can you get that guy off, Iverson off? He's deleting files in the wrong directory. So they had to lock everything up. But that was in the day when they didn't do anything.
Yeah, of course.
But so I went back to music for a while, and so that's where I see myself. And with this technology, you can have really fantastic equipment. In fact, speaking of equipment, this is what I will show you. Hit F11. Oh, come on, F11. This, where to go here? This is my camera. So when we do our show with Andy and Tony, this is the camera.
Nice. Yeah.
So in the back, you can see there, it's a PTZ camera.
Yep.
And that's about it. So you can see that's what we use. And really nice picture, 1080p. And I don't need the blurring in the back because it's like a regular set. And so we haven't even taken advantage of using all the technology in this.
Yeah.
We're just
we use those in our conference rooms in our big offices. They're great because you can move them around and you can zoom in. You can go 2-shot, single. They're really cool. And what, you have a controller or something like that?
Yes, a hand controller.
Yeah, super
so cool. I don't have a big controlling, a joystick. We have a remote, and we just preset it for a few things. So like I said, if you watch our show, you'll see it move around. And yes, it's not perfect, but again, we're live and we're having fun. And that's,
as I said, right? Nobody's gonna ask what camera. Like they just want to see you, right? None of your audience is gonna even care what camera it is, right?
Nope. Well,
they just want to hear you and see you.
Yeah, and our audio is more, and then we have wireless lavaliers that we let's see. And these are so high tech, which is awesome. This is it right there.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. $39. It was $39 on Amazon's Black Day or whatever it was 2 days ago.
Black Friday.
Black
yeah.
Friday. Yeah, Black whatever.
So
I paid $46 for these. I bought 4 of them.
That's
and
great,
yeah, they last about an hour or so, and then you got to recharge them. They're great for indoors. They take care of everything we need. Don't have to worry about anything else. That's the nicest thing about it. I didn't go out and buy a $1,200 Sennheiser, and I had a recording studio in the 70s. I had a 2-inch MPEG 24-track recorder and a half-track mastering unit. We had everything, and it was all analog. And so I've been there back in the day when it was tough. And my first movie I worked on was in 1974, 5 or 6 with good guys were black with Chuck Norris. And I started out as an extra, went and got hired on the set to work in the back end, did some stunts, did some stand-in work. And then I was offered a gaffer and a grip job. And I said, I wanted to be a I wanted to be a stuntman actor. So they said, we'll call you back on the next show. Well, what happened was 4 or 5 months later, all my friends were saying, they're not going to do that. And I started working for my parents in a family business, painting workbenches in a factory, all orange, brand new setup. And then they called me, says, Tony, you ready to get your union card? And I said, sure. And then I told my parents, they said, no, you can't go. You got to stay with the company. You got to make up your mind. So I don't know if that would have changed my history in life or not, but I know after that, everybody who worked on that set started working for Chuck Norris when they did all their production shoots, when they did Texas, what a Marshall or whatever.
Yeah, something like that, right?
Yeah, his show, they all walked on there. And that's what I said, I'm so handsome, but I wanted to be a stuntman. And,
Okay.
But
interesting. What a
yeah,
great history.
So that's where I've been at. I dabbled in a lot of different things, and the internet has always been, I see that all the way in what we're doing. I don't know if people remember a thing called Blab 7-8 years ago.
Yeah, I remember Blab.
Yeah,
I played with that for a minute.
Yeah, we played with that too. Yeah, and then when their funding stopped, they pulled the plug. Yeah. And that's what moved us on to other things.
Vine, there's so many that have come and gone since that it's just like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. I just got here, right? And then like, see you later.
Yeah. So this is where we stand. And all I can say is that's what
well, that's why I say 3 years. The comedian Chris Rock, the saying, here today, gone tomorrow. He says, here today, gone today. It's hello, goodbye. Because it comes and goes so quick. And do you think in 3 years you'll have more of a team around you? Like even if like say Einar and others who helping you remotely produce, or are you going to still be kind of
I don't want to sound like an idiot here, but 3 months.
3 months.
3 months. Yeah, we're already starting. I've already got a list of lineups.
Cool, good.
I joined the chamber. I'm working with Einar. We're trying to create our Fix It for Seniors to go live next month.
So you're gonna have a team to do that. You can't do that all.
Oh no, but it's all. But see, I've already got remote software. I got phone system. It's all IP based, and I got a CRM. Everything's tied in, and I have a support program that's everything's linked together. So I can set up technical people remotely anywhere in the world. They just got to speak very good English.
Is your studio on your property, or is it?
No, we moved out of the house. I mean, I had a bedroom where I was doing a lot of work and things like that by myself, and did my own little show and just other editing and helping people, doing back end work for a lot of other companies and building infrastructure. Now I rented 450 square feet, 400 is the set. I have 3 sets in there, and then I have a little tiny engineering studio in the back, and I'm starting here and just making it grow. And
how long does it take you to get from home to your studio? Like what's your commute?
It's 2 miles.
Oh, that's not too bad. Yeah.
So I either bicycle, it takes about 10-15 minutes, or I take the car, and believe it or not, that still takes 5 to 8 minutes because stop signs and get it out of the clubhouse and the gate open.
Yeah, all that.
Yeah, and I have the car parked, and since it's a van, I have to park it in an RV park. So we got to go down there, get it. I ride the bicycle to there sometimes, unload it, get it out, put the bicycle where the van was, and then drive to the studio. And then when I come back, I unload it. So certain days I'll ride the bicycle down here.
So clearly, so you're creating a studio. You must spend a lot of time there then. What's your work day look like, just time wise? Like what time in the morning are you over there? Stay there
I'm in
all
here.
night, or?
4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow.
Because when I talk to Einar or I talk to Avio, that's back east, or Denmark, I start my calls at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right, your PST, right? Pacific time? Yeah.
And then I talk to Honduras. I have 3 different times I talk out at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I have found, to keep my marriage together, I am now stopping at 6 p.m., going home to eat and whatever, and relax, and we do some stuff there. I haven't taken a laptop or anything at home to do it because I'm doing other stuff, but I get up early, start my day at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I come into the studio. And as soon as I get my concept is to have the studio running 24/7, having people in and out of here. I live 5 miles from community college that has a complete video production center up there. So I'm going to be promoting, live streaming and studio rentals for podcasting and live vodcasting, whatever they want to do.
Or special projects, or making a commercial, or a
Anybody.
demos, whatever. Yeah, reels.
Yeah, and businesses, because I got friends in
Great.
Riverside. They got like 2,000 square feet, and they built a big studio in the back that they can do video or film or photography. And then in the front area, they also built some 4 or 5 desks that you can sit there and do podcasting or whatever, or do some work. So they rent out those spaces. You bring your own laptop, and they got the screen there and everything else that you need. And you got a place to come in there instead of going at Starbucks and sitting there all cramped up. They have a studio open, so they got people coming in there. They got people in the back shooting pictures. They've started a membership program. I'm thinking about doing the same thing here for companies and business. Anybody who's interested in creating their own show, you can spend a boatload of money buying all your equipment, or you can do it. How we started our Danish church, they were using an iPhone for about 6 months doing live streaming. The girl was holding it, and then they put it on a tripod, but then she lifted it up and moved it around. I came in with OBS and my 2 XYZ cameras, and I had to drive. That was 70 miles each way. We packed the car up every Saturday night and every Sunday morning. Andy and I would go to Orange County, unload everything to do an hour show, pack everything back up, get something in, come home. So we started at 5 o'clock in the morning. We got home at 5 o'clock at night every Sunday. And we had to unload everything, put it back. She had a spare room. I put it in there. That was my little makeshift studio before we got married. And I would work there. And before that, I was at my house where I live with my mom down the street. And then after a while, we put it back over to my house. And then once we got married, I said, I'm not going to start everything again at home. I'm going to build a studio, because if I was just going to do technical support, I can work out of the house. But I want others to do it. So to help with this, I'm building an infrastructure.
So
That's
fascinating.
amazing.
Yeah, and
Really great story.
And I met Einer. So I can't remember if I met him through live streaming or through the other group that John Pullum put together. Einer, do you remember?
Me?
Yeah.
We talked about the first time we talked together was in the chat in Accelerator group.
Okay, that's where we were. Yeah.
Yes, I asked you if you was a Danish because of the last name.
Okay.
So that's where it started. When we started talking, because I want to communicate so I can eventually start going back to Denmark and stuff, and build up. I've got a philosophy and an idea I'm trying to put together. I know it'll work here because there's enough people to do it. Like you talked about, Adam, you said, a lot of people helping people, there's even with, I can't even say that service for storing the videos, Vellum, like Amazon, SW3, that you need a certificate and a business management, know how to run that. But that's where I figured something to help people. And that's where it's all putting it together. So I want it to run together. And I'm thinking the Amazon philosophy, keep the prices down, keep it as a subscription and membership, and offer other things. And you can also pay for exclusive service, which is unheard of on my prices. And you'll see that next week when we start releasing things. But
it's fascinating. We have to stay up on that and find out where your journey goes. It sounds so fascinating, and congratulations on putting that all together. But that brings us to the top of the hour, and I don't want to take too much of your time, but that was really, really interesting. Thank you, Einar, Adam, and Tony, and the audience, Moni and Roy. So, see you next week. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.